Hello, Crafting with Crockett family. Our next segment for Crafting with Crockett is we are going to make this beautiful Mother's Day card. Can you get it here? This is what we're going to make today. This beautiful Mother's Day card. So the first thing you're going to need, I'm going to go through the materials. You're going to need paper, construction paper, colored pencils, a Sharpie marker, and a pencil. So let me position my and I'm going to use this one as my visual for you so you can see what I'm doing as I'm drawing. And I also have attached some, here's my paper, some resources on the Google Classroom underneath the material for this project so that you have some visuals to use. So we're going to create either a black-eyed daisy, a daisy, or an echinacea. The echinacea is what I'm going to create. So hopefully you'll be able to see. I can't draw this upside down, but the first thing we're going to start with on our paper is this little molehill. This is the center of the flower. So you don't need a very big piece of paper. This piece of paper is probably like 8 inches by 6 inches, I'm guessing. So first things first is I'm going to create this little molehill of a shape. This is the center of my echinacea. So I'm drawing this type of flower right here. So I'm drawing this part, the center part of this flower. And then I'm going to draw my petals coming from underneath that central part. So once you have your little molehill here drawn, then I'm going to add the petals. So the petals are very long and lanky. You can do rounded petals, you can do pointy petals, however you want your echinacea flower to look like. So we're just drawing simple petals here. Nothing too hard about these shapes. And I have 5 petals drawn. And this one I have 6, so I'm going to add a little baby one right here. Okay, that's as easy as that gets. And then what I'm going to do is I have to create my stem where my wording's going to go. I'm going to make Happy Mother's Day my stem of my flower. So I'm just going to draw an imaginary line where I might want my writing to fall on. I'm kind of making a little shelf to write on, and then it's going to be erased at the end. So then I'm going to turn my drawing to the side so that I can write Happy Mother's Day on this line, this imaginary line. So you can use any kind of font that you want. Just make it very neat and make sure your spelling is correct. Now when I get to my Y, I'm going to make the one part of the stem connected to the H and the Y tail connected, and I'm going to create a leaf with my Y tail. So when I get to my Y, I have to make my tail long, and then I'm going to create my leaf, however you want your leaf, connected to my Y. And then my H, I'm just going to extend and make my stem of my flower connected into the flower itself. So that's how I'm going to do the lettering. All right, now once I have all that done, very simple, right? I'm going to use my Sharpie or an ink pen, whatever you have at home, and outline all of my lines that I just drew. So this should go pretty quick. I'm outlining all of my lines, all of my petal lines, and I'm not even lifting my ink pen. I'm just making it continuous. It's almost like a contour line drawing. And then I'm adding my leaf in here. And I am going to turn my paper though so that I can write the Happy Mother's Day so that it looks as neat as possible. Okay, and there you have it. And then I'm just gonna add some texture with my lines here. So in the top here, I'm just gonna add some texture, just creating some lines on the part of my flower here, just to give it a little bit of interest, like this one, just to give it a little more interest. And then I'm gonna go in and create some lines in my petals. Just very simple, just to create more interest. So I'm using the element of art line to create more interest here. And then the same thing in my leaf. You know the veins that are in your leaf? Make those simple veins. So now you have a very simple flower drawing, and you're gonna go back in and erase all of your pencil. That's the nice thing about Sharpie. Once the ink goes on, you can erase the pencil underneath, and it's almost like you've just drawn it in ink. All right, so now I'm going to start coloring. So the first color I'm going to use is just basic yellow. And I'm going to color in all the petals yellow. This is going to be my undertone or my undercolor of my leaves. And then we're going to build it up with color like this one so that it looks really pretty. So color in all the leaves with yellow. Now you can do these any color you want, but I like yellow to make it look more like either a black-eyed Susan or an echinacea. They're some of my favorite plants. And I'm going to even undertone the yellow in here, just in the middle though, kind of for my little highlight of my center flower. And then the same with my leaf. My yellow is going to be my undertone, because I'm going to end up layering these colored pencils to create more interest. So once the yellow's done, we're going to go back in and color the center of our flower with reds and purples. So I'm pulling from the sides, from the outsides, and I'm pulling towards my yellow. Because that little bit of yellow is just going to be a little bit of highlight on my. And then I'm going to go back and add in some purple to give it a little bit more dimension. So we're not pressing too hard with our colored pencils because we want to be able to blend. All right? And then in my leaves, I have some yellows, I have some reds, I added some blues. So right where the flower petals meet your flower center, I'm just going to add a little bit of purple in there to create some depth, some shadows. And then I'm going to kind of outline all of my lines with the purple as well. And notice I'm not being really neat here because we're going to layer our colors. So it's going to all blend a little bit. And I'm going to add just a little bit of purple to my leaf. And then I'm going to go back in with this purple color and add a little bit of more color into my flower petals, leaving the tips of my flower petals yellow. So I'm just blending in some colors here just to make it prettier for my mom, just to add a little bit more interest. Very simple, right? Just by layering your colored pencils, you can get a very unique look. And then my leaf, of course, is green, so I'm going to go back in and color everything in green, but leaving the edge of my leaf revealing the yellow undertone. And then again, I'm going to take my blue and add a little blue to give it a little bit more dimension. Now you can see how all these colors work together to create a little bit more dimension in your colored pencil. So you can add a little blue up here, and then that's pretty much, you're done. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to rip around my page just to create that more handmade look, something that's not regular. Just like that. And then I'm going to choose whatever color construction paper I want to apply this to, and I'm going to glue it on for my mom. And there's my beautiful Mother's Day card. So if you do this, you can upload it to the stream and share it with everyone. And I hope your mom absolutely loves your handmade Mother's Day card for her. Happy crafting!